Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
Nope, I am the co-host. My name is Mike Piroworski. I'm coming to you live from the East Coast, the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown, where we bring you 2A views of conservative news.
All right, Mike, I have
today,
to ask.
Craig?
You are the host with the most. There is no doubt of that. The question is the
co-host
most
with the
what?
most.
What?
I'm the co-host with the most.
You are the co-host with the most. The question is
Yes.
the most what?
The most stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I got stuff.
No, I don't mean stuff like
Okay.
physically, like physical objects. I mean, like, have you ever seen The Right Stuff?
So you came the right stuff. Got it. Not
get
just
the right
stuff,
stuff.
but the right stuff.
You could for a more recent reference, we could go back to Space Jam, the original movie, when Bugs gave Michael Jordan the stuff.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm down. I am down with that vernacular.
Yep, there we go. More of the stuff. So, folks, listen. Craig and I, we usually spend a couple minutes together before we go on the show. We get well prepared and we do everything, and then throughout the rest of the show, we try to get each other, like see if the other one was prepared for what we said, or just have fun with each other, because we have to have fun with you while we have fun with each other.
Right.
And the one thing Craig does every day is when we do our pregame show, he's in one position, and then we come back live, he's always somewhere else. Like he might start here on the camera, and then so I'll adjust to there, and then when we come live, he's way back here, and so that's why anytime we come on, you always see me doing.
Well,
Mike, I've come
to realize why that is, and it is the swivel of the chair.
It is. I get it.
It is the swivel of the chair.
I did the show this.
I did the show
this week from a swivel. I did the show this week from a swivel chair in Texas, and it was everything I could do from not doing complete 360s, because I'm pretty sure I could have got a 1080 on that chair.
All I know is just that sounds something incredibly kinky. Like I did it from a swivel chair in Texas.
I thought we weren't bringing our personal lives into this.
That just sounds weird. I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Hey, everybody! Let me tell you what Craig did at SHOT Show. Huh? Here we go. You ready?
It involved a swivel chair in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
No.
I guess you're right, though. We can't talk about Vegas. We can talk about Texas. So that's in the rules.
You can talk about
that's in the rules. Yeah, that's right.
There you go. So I see you're at home, enjoying being back home.
I am. Taking part in the home festivities.
There you go. See, and
that's a prop. It's actually iced tea.
Just so everybody's bravo.
I don't drink like that all the time. I actually have iced tea. I just poured it in my cup, so it looks like it's not iced tea.
Fake. You were fake news.
It's the like Dean Martin. You ever seen Dean Martin on stage with his tumbler?
Yeah.
Dean Martin drank tea or apple juice all the time. Oh, yeah. Dean Martin quit drinking when he was like 40. And the rest of his time, but it was his image. That's so he had to walk around with his tumbler.
Ron White does the same thing. He's been doing the same. Well, he used to drink all the time, and he quit drinking. And so this whole final tour that he's doing, he goes on stage with a glass, but there's nothing in it, or there's water in it.
Yeah. He got tired of drinking because he got tired of waking up in cities and not knowing which ones they were.
He was the definition of a functional alcoholic, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well,
so enough about your lifestyle.
Hey, by the way, folks, however you're watching this, please make sure share it. Share it on whatever social media you have. Please make sure to share it so folks know where to watch. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. You can find us on OpsLens. OpsLens is really the spot because you can watch it there in full HD 4K right there on your TV. So watch it there. Yeah, don't do that. Don't scare the folks, please.
They just went, wish I had a swivel chair.
But once again, make sure encourage people to watch the program. Tell them to tune in. So make sure you guys do that. All right, let's move on and let's go ahead and start. For those of you who have been following the news, Jussie Smollett, or Jussie Smollett, as some people like to call him, Well, he was in the news today, and he actually got sentenced. And it was funny because when I first saw the sentencing, I was like 150. I thought 150 years. No, he got 150 days in jail for basically lying to the police and faking the attack. But Mike, here's the thing that you have to see. Now, this is the reason why I know people are wondering why is this episode entitled "What Does Jussie Smollett Have on the Clintons?" Well, this is why it's named that.
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time, I'm not suicidal.
Okay.
He is not suicidal. See, now if Jeffrey Epstein had said that, at one point in court, he might still be alive today. Oh, you're killing me, Mikey.
Hold on. I got this.
Yeah, your mic went out there for a little bit, but you appear to be back now. Although it's the external mic now.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so he may not be suicidal, but he sure knows how to kill his career.
I don't know. I honestly think he's got a future in comedy at this point.
I could see him doing Saturday Night Live. I could see him doing that.
I could see it too. Well, we'll have to check that out. But yeah, I could definitely see him doing Saturday Night Live as well. Oh man, the thing about this is that for anyone to believe that there were basically two large African American bodybuilder MAGA white supremacists roaming the streets of Chicago in the middle of the night looking for a gay black person that they might happen to know so that they could beat them up and exercise their white supremacy on them. The very fact that he even thinks that is a possible thing is hilarious.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of mental illness here, right? I mean, you at this point, everybody knows he did it, right? Listen, Farrakhan knows he did it. Okay, he's like, come on, brother, just give it up already. This is, Dave Chappelle. Dude. I think he said it right? And then he kept his silence because everybody knew he was guilty.
No, Mike. Even OJ's like, he did it.
Yeah. OJ's like, you got to give this up. You got
to give this up. We know you're gonna find the real. You're gonna go out and you're gonna find the real lyncher.
Yeah, that's it. When you get out, Jussie, we'll go check all the golf courses around Chicago and look for the true lynchers.
But you know what? I mean, fake hate crime hoaxes are not a new thing. They seem to be a big thing in particular on college campuses amongst the quote unquote intelligentsia and amongst the those in the entertainment industry, because there's this thing about being a victim, right? And if you follow and you listen to the teachings of the social justice warriors, social justice community, it's like there's this noble thing about being a victim. And then for the white people who do it, for them, if they don't fit some sort of an intersectional being, 1/1,000,000th, Native American, or being gay, lesbian, transgender, something, some group or a woman, then they take pleasure in the idea that my ancestors were racist, therefore I am racist, and so I shall bow down to those who would call me racist. And it is just this victimhood. It's like it's like a cult religion is what it is. And so you can't, it doesn't surprise me that a true believer like Jussie Smollett would put his career on the sacrificial altar of this fake religion.
He's a narcissist, right? He's so he's so engulfed in his own lie that he's going to continue to portray that that's the truth. And if he continues to call it the truth, then it must be the truth, whether you people believe it's the truth or not. I don't have any doubt that there's racism involved here, because look, he's trying to make it appear as though he's the victim of racism to advance his own career. But Jussie, you're the only one out there that's not convinced this was real. That this was, you didn't put this on. Even the guys that did the lynching of you came forward and said you paid them to do it. These Nigerian folks who came forward and said, and they're, I'm not going to do my Dave Chappelle impression, but they're yelling MAGA in a Nigerian accent.
Yes. Yes, no.
America great
thank
again.
You. We do not want the cultural appropriation. that would not be appropriate.
Yep.
Anyway, just suffice it to say, dude, just stop. Just stop. This is your chance to disappear into obscurity, and maybe one day your career can be resumed. But right now, just stop.
That's right.
The best
remember,
advice that I can give.
He did not commit suicide, no matter what Hillary Clinton says happened.
Oh, I gotta believe that he's got something on the Clintons, because that's, I mean,
oh yeah.
I like I said, I think this is self-defense against what he might know and might have on the Clintons, or at least what they think he has on the Clintons.
Listen, now how does everybody that he's going to spend time in prison with not going to know that he said this? Did he not just make his life much more difficult for the next 150 days?
Oh yeah. Yes, he did. Hopefully they will I think what's going to happen is they're going to wind up putting him in protective custody for those 150. And
you mean,
protective
custody like Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, good point. Oh, and by the way, we are not wishing ill. We are not wishing any harm on Mr. Smollett. We really are not. No. I just hope he gets his life together. That's really, in the end, what I hope he can get his life together and recognize and realize the error of his ways.
He's erred.
All right. Well, I'll tell you who hasn't erred, and that is the state of Florida once again. And, this is another positive story coming out of Florida that, doesn't really have anything to do, though, with Captain Florida, which is kind of odd, because normally, most of the good stories coming out of there have to do with him. But recently, the Florida legislature passed the Stop Woke Act. And in essence, what the Stop Woke Act is, it's basically a piece of legislation that prohibits the teaching of or the use of various different divisive and, quite frankly, racist aspects of critical race theory to be taught as a part of any sort of training or anything like that, whether it's in schools or whether it's in government training there in the state of Florida. I'm generally not one for shutting down of ideas, but the issue, Mike, that I have in particular with things like the woke act and critical race theory is, as a part of what they teach, is that you are not allowed to question it. If you do, then you are. If you do and you're white, then you are racist. If you question it and you are black, well, then you have internalized the white supremacy that is so clearly evident in society, meaning there is no questioning it. It also purports the idea that things like logic and critical thinking, like logical thinking, like science and data and the scientific method, are all aspects of whiteness, right? They're all perpetuated by white people, so therefore they are invalid and therefore cannot be considered. So there is no real way to academically challenge the orthodoxy, and that's really what it is. It is a religious orthodoxy of social justice theory, in this case, manifested as critical race theory. So once again, my hat's off. I am so proud of the folks over there in Florida for doing their thing.
You know, when you bring up Captain Florida, I like to think of the pose where he goes, you know, that chin up pose where he's looking high and defiant. You know, that's my Captain Florida pose.
Now I've got to be honest with you. Every time I think of Captain Florida, I just the image of Captain Underpants comes into my mind. I don't know why.
Issues, Craig. Issues. Yeah, we might have to.
Issues.
I know they got plenty of quacks out there in California. Maybe you can talk to one of them. Yeah. Listen, this is great. You know, Greg, I love the rule number 1 of CRT in teaching is we don't talk about CRT teaching. But this is like the Fight Club rules, right? First rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club. The first rule of CRT is we don't talk about teaching CRT. I mean, how shady is that? You know, listen, Craig, this is so shady. It could have put out a contract on itself to beat itself up in Chicago. That's how shady this is. Okay?
Well, but
it's.
Mm-hmm. But that's how it's kind of funny. Now, there's a great book if you want to read it. It's by a guy named John McWhorter, who is, by the way, is a liberal, but he doesn't buy into all of this stuff. He wrote a book called Woke Racism. And he literally shows how it is literally a religious orthodoxy and how it is promoted like a religion. The thing he doesn't make the tie to is once again, when you go back to exactly what Marxism is and how it's founded and how they look to put it in place. Same exact thing. It's an orthodoxy that you either are with it or you are against it. And if there's any opposition, you have to shut it down and not allow it to exist. And, so that's why even when they teach it, it was funny because we've been dealing with some of this in the local school district where I'm a board member, and their thing is, well, if something doesn't feel right in your body, that's because you're challenging it and you need to breathe, and like there's something wrong with you that this doesn't feel right. And I'm like, maybe the thing that doesn't feel right is that this is BS. Is what it is. Maybe that's because I smell BS that this doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. Yeah, as the Scottish would say, it's crap.
It's crap.
It's crap. I say it's crap. Yeah, that's what it stands for, right? CRT for crap.
Well, and by the way, folks, just so you know, and I'm sure that the people who are watching this program know this, but for the people who are not normal watchers and who are like, oh, well, he's promoting racism. No, people do want to learn about the history of the United States. We want to learn about slavery and about Jim Crow and the role that it's played in our society. In fact, I think we need to learn more. When we start talking about guns, we need to start talking about the black codes and how gun control was basically founded with the idea of keeping black people, Mexicans, I didn't use Latino because then it was Mexicans, and Chinese and Indians, Native Americans, from being able to own and possess firearms or ammunition. That's the roots of gun control. So yeah, no, I want our kids to learn about that. I want them to know what that sort of stuff looks like. I want to learn that. I want them to learn that. But what I don't want Craig, is go ahead.
I went to a mix of public and private schools and parochial schools, and we learned about it. You and I learned about it in our age bracket. It wasn't hidden. It wasn't like, and then there was Plymouth Rock, and now it's all roses today. Nothing happened.
I know. Here's what I will tell you. Now, growing up in high school, and this always kind of frustrated me. And when we grew up and we studied world history, it always started off with Babylon, Mesopotamia, Greece, Rome, then the Dark Ages, and then the Renaissance. Right? We never discussed the 400 years that the Moors, basically Muslims, controlled Southern Europe and had the Bible. That we just kind of glossed over.
Maybe that's some California. Hold on. Yeah. No, that's got to be some West Coast nonsense then. Some California stuff.
I don't disagree with that.
Absolutely did on the East Coast.
Right. I'm telling you, we didn't discuss it that much, which I wish we had discussed it more. Because that had a profound effect on the direction of Europe. Right. Which, by the way, had a direct effect on the direction of the United States. When we talked about slavery, we didn't talk much about, the reasons for slavery, the reasons for the Civil War, and didn't get into a lot of it. All that having been said,
you've been going through CRT for 50 years.
Right. Well, but the point is there's a difference between teaching about the history and telling people that, well, because of the color of your skin, you are either oppressed or you are an oppressor. Because what you're telling people is that who you are, the content of your character does not matter. What only what matters is the color of your skin, and you bear the sins of those you bear the oppression or the sins of those who have the same skin color as you. And when you teach people that, what you're telling them is you are disempowering them from making changes in the world, because you're telling them who you are doesn't matter, only your skin color matters.
Yeah, and listen, you know what this sounds like? Just doing the math here in our heads, it sounds like when the hippie movement went to California 60 years ago, 50 years ago, and they took over the school systems and the colleges, and we know that. We've all seen the videos, right? We've all heard the stories, that you've been getting this one-sided education for a lot longer than anywhere else has. I think it's only now that the hippies are starting to leave California again, because Newsom's driving them out with his financial policies, but that we're seeing in other places. But I got to tell you, I grew up on the East Coast, and any place I went to school, this was taught everywhere. The history of the Moors and slavery in our own country. It's not something that we even avoided. The conversation was always topical in our history classes.
And that's good to hear. I wish it was like that everywhere, because it is the original sin of this nation. And I believe the founding fathers wanted to get rid of it from the very beginning, but they knew that it was just, there was no way to do it at the founding.
Yeah. No, they had to. There was no way to bring this country about without our original sin.
Yeah. It really was, and I wholly acknowledge that. But I also know that I recognize where we were, and the road that we have traveled, and where we are, and how far we've come from where we were, and we still got a little ways to go. But I believe we are much closer to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream than we were when I was a child. The thing that frustrates me is things like critical race theory are taking us backwards, where now we're saying, no, people ought to be judged by the color of their skin, not the content of their character. That being whatever color you are, whatever the color of your skin is, matters more than anything else. And you can't overcome that. You can't get around that. You can't undo that.
And I've said this before here on the air, and I've said this to you. I blame Barack Obama. He had to be brought race back into the forefront in a bad way, bad manner. Look at all the plight and anger between whites and blacks. Look at everything that's going on. Wait, hold on. I don't. Is anybody else seeing this, or just this guy? Just this guy who wants the stage so he can garner the votes.
Yep, pretty much. Okay, let's move right along to the next one, because, by the way, Mike, you do know that owning a gun is racist, right? Just in case you didn't know. Yeah. So a Democrat lawmaker, this is in Nebraska. Her name is, she's a state senator in Nebraska. Her name is Megan Hunt. Sent out a tweet. Here, let us check out her tweet here real quick. It says, owning a gun isn't a God-given right. It's a slave-owning, misogynistic, founding father-given right. I'm not against 2A, but be real. The Constitution was written by people. Today, I'm filibustering a bill that would allow concealed carry without a training permit. Basically, that would allow constitutional carry. Now, this is a lady who is clearly either just stupid or is engaging in revisionist history in order to push her own personal political agenda.
Yeah, listen, Craig, she is not just liberal. She's super liberal. I mean, she should have a cape. She's so super liberal. She's a single LGBT mom, anti-gun, anti everything else. you know she was from all outward looks, it looks like she was raised in in one of those confinement camps. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say weird. What's the word I'm looking for? One of those weird coves of. Yeah, she's commune. Thank you. Like she was raised in a commune of alternate theories. She's a quack, is what she is, and she's the left's quack. And I know. Listen, we got some extreme right people in the White House, or excuse me, in Congress. She embarrasses them. This one right here, she makes AOC go. What'd that girl say? What'd she say? You know, this one's. She's way out there.
Let me point this out to this lady. So first of all, ma'am, let me just give you a little history lesson. First of all, understand that the right to keep and bear arms is, first of all, you're right. It wasn't given to us in the Constitution. It is a God-given right, because the whole point of the Bill of Rights was to point out rights that were fundamental, that were not. That it wasn't saying we're giving you the people these rights. It's telling the government that these are fundamental human rights that you do not have the ability to touch, government. And it derives specifically from the fundamental human right of self-defense. You know, your right to be able to defend yourself. And oh, by the way, if you really want to question whether or not it is biblical to own or possess a firearm, Jesus himself said, or own the means to defend yourself. Jesus himself said, if a man does not own a sword, he ought sell his cloak and go purchase one.
Yeah, you can listen. No argument for me, Craig. You know, I understand this is a inherent right given to us, bestowed upon us by our Creator. Whether it's the club or whether it's the black rifle, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever opportunity you have to defend yourself, and that should be, you know, pretty equal. You'd want it against the tyrants that show up at your door, whether they be from the government or your local gang. It doesn't matter to me. I want the ability to defend myself, and that comes from my Creator, my right of self-defense. You know, my right to survive, right. Not your right to teach me that I'm white and I'm wrong and I'm not LGBT, so I'm even more wrong.
Exactly. And you know, Mike, a lot of people may not be aware.
Hold on, I'm going to clarify that, Craig.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to clarify that. I said I'm not LGBT. I didn't mean I don't support LGBT. Right. I meant because I'm not an actual lesbian, I'm wrong. So she's one of those people where unless you are an alternative lifestyle person, you're wrong. You if you support them, you're wrong.
Right.
Because you're not one of them. So, okay.
Well, and that goes back to the whole social justice theory is if you support them, how dare you support them as if you had an option not to support them. Therefore, you are biased. You are bigoted against them. That's social justice theory right there. Anyway,
you're sure. Listen, I'm sure to her, I couldn't say I support African American rights because then I'd be like, oh, really? Oh, right. Now you're just going to look down on us like that? Or
like we need your support. We don't need your support. Yeah. It's a fundamental human. No.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And I may not be an LGBT, but I am an LGB. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
It's right. It's right there. There's my sticker right there.
There you go. I see it right there.
Let's go, Brandon.
All right. Well, you know, Mike, the bill that she said she was going to be filibustering is actually it is a constitutional carry bill that's on the floor there in Nebraska. And for those of you who do not know, it has actually become constitutional carry or permitless carry has become the most common way the way in which people are allowed to now conceal carry in the United States. And why do I say that? I say that because now the state of Alabama has gone permitless. That's right. As of today, the governor has signed legislation that will make Alabama, I think, the 22nd state to pass permitless carry. Which makes permitless, like I said, permitless carry or constitutional carry, whichever one you prefer to call it, it now makes it the most common way across the country for individuals to be able to exercise their fundamental right to bear arms.
Yeah, which is wonderful news. We'd love to have it in the rest of the states, and I'm sure we will. We'll get around to it in a couple more here shortly. I don't know how our friends in Nebraska don't have it. Again, well, I guess they got Megan Hunt up there to thank for that. But I think it's Nebraska. I think they just don't care if they want to anyway. It's Nebraska. I mean,
well,
how many
I just
people are in
wonder how
Nebraska?
they keep electing. I just wonder how they keep electing Democrats up there. I mean, they go back and forth between Republican and Democrat. I just wonder how Democrats. I think the Democrats up there don't understand that. Yeah, the Democratic Party is not the Democratic Party of your parents or grandparents.
Yeah, she's not a Democrat. She's a crackpot, is what she is. It's like saying that AOC is a Democrat. No, she might have a D next to her name, but that's for
Right.
dumbass.
Well,
she's not a Democrat.
either that or just an undercover Marxist.
Well, and that's what they are, right? They're Democrat socialists, right?
Right.
It's exactly what they are.
Well, as Karl Marx or Saul Alinsky would refer to them, useful idiots.
Yeah, we've had Marxists and communists, and listen, you remember from as a youth that you'd see these people would show up and say, "I'm running for office." You're like, "What?" Like David Duke. Remember, I'm with the Klan. I'm here to run for vice president. What? No, go away. Well, now they figured out. No, we're Democrats. They've just changed the name.
Right.
Really, of all the crazy crap out there, if they just call themselves Democrats, other Democrats will be like, "Okay, sounds good to me."
Sounds fine. Sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
It is what it is, sir. It is what it is. And that'll take us to our parting shot. I have to be honest. I could not help but take another shot at Mr. Jussie Smollett.
Justice for Juicy.
There's justice for Juicy. So anyway, you guys will love this. You'll find it hilarious. Check it out.
So you can see why this story is a little hard to believe, right?
Great. My own manager doesn't believe me. Wait, what the?
What is that?
I don't know. I think it's a bag of clues.
No, Jussie, please, don't.
Hang on. Look, guys. The killer. He left me a bunch of clues.
What killer?
You're still alive,
It's
Justin.
only because I fought back because I'm the gay Mike Tyson.
You see what we mean, Lee? We can't keep this guy around.
Wait, let's just see what's in here first, okay? Crest white strips. Whoa, what do you think that means?
I don't know. Maybe it's because you're black.
Yo, you think it's racial? Damn.
Oh, Jussie, please, just
There's more. A K? Another K? 3 Ks? Like, what do you think that means?
It's probably the Ku Klux Klan, Jussie.
Really? I thought that was a math.
Jussie.
Hang on, there's more stuff. Oh, it's a receipt. I need that. Car keys, definitely need those. Oh, a Teletubby? And it's the gay one.
Jussie.
Okay, I realize that is comedy, but that's pretty much what Juicy was asking us to do.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny skit. And how about that Kate McKinnon there? Is she a darling or what? Is she sweet? She was like, "You're not dead. What killer?" And then she was just out. She was just like, "I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. I'm not even in this meeting anymore. I'm done with you." Yeah, that's hilarious. That's pretty funny right there. Yeah.
Well, and the thing
he had plenty of time to think about it for 150 days, which honestly, with let's see, they're going to do 1/3, 2/3 time served, good behavior, probably means 30 days, 40 days. He's out.
if that.
Yep.
If that. I could easily see him spending a week or two in jail and being let out. I mean, keep in mind,
absolutely.
when you consider all the people they're letting out of jail, especially there in Chicago, it would not surprise me one bit.
Oh, listen, the one thing Chicago does like to do is put people in jail. They have a very, very large population of jail inmates in Joliet and the rest of Illinois. It's not California, Craig, where you can do 3 crimes a day and be out. This is, they may have some liberal policies, but they still need that federal tax money for prisoners.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right, well, Mike, hey, let's go ahead and call it a day. But before we do, why don't you give a quick shout out to our sponsors?
You probably asked me something, and it looks like I'm going to give you something here. Let's just make sure my speakers are working again. Hold on 1 second with me, please, properly, folks. There we go. and my input is good. Okay, Craig. I bet you probably asked me to talk about our sponsors. So
As
what
a
I'm going to
matter
do
of
is talk
fact, I
about
did.
sponsors.
As a
Can
matter
you
of
hear me
fact,
now?
I did.
You can. And you did ask me about our sponsors.
Yes.
So, hey, how about our good friends at Gorilla Machining, Grid Defense, and of course, the California Republican Assembly.
Folks, you have to love. See, this is how you guys know that we do this show live, because we have fun stuff like that happen.
Listen, Craig has one of those computers. I told you we got this new computer, but his computer has AI. I can literally watch my settings change while we're talking. And I'm like, oh, Craig's computer's at it again. Literally changing my settings as we're speaking.
You know what it is? It's because I have like the 2021 MacBook Pro, and it's looking at your MacBook Pro and saying, "You're old. You don't know what you're doing. Here, let me fix this for you."
It's true. It's true. I did just upgrade to a 2018 model, so I'm not too far behind. And listen, in Mac world, a 2018 Mac is about where a 2027 Dell is. So just to be clear on that, somebody who's run both systems for a long time. Yeah. 5-year-old Mac is still 3 years ahead of what's coming out with IBM and PC.
Yeah, exactly. No, I do. You get no difference for me. But with that, once again, thank you to our sponsors for being there for us. Thank you to you for going and visiting our sponsors. Go check them out. Help them. Support them. You support them. They support us. We support you. And, so pass us around. Tell your friends. Encourage them to like, share, and subscribe. And follow us. What?
You're stealing my line now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I did steal your line, didn't I?
You did.
Oh, dang it.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
Folks, I apologize. He's probably going to sue me for copyright infringement now.
I feel like Jussie now. I feel like you don't believe me anymore. Like you're just going to take what you want from me. Make me wear a MAGA hat. And
Is that a noose around your neck?
That's it. What are you doing, Craig? Craig, what are you doing?
What are you doing, Craig?
Craig, what's going on?
Anyway, we appreciate you guys. And
that's my work
you
idea,
guys have
folks.
as
That's
much
not like it was
fun
planned or
watching
anything.
as we do putting the program on for you. So anyway, you folks take care, and we will talk to you again on Monday. Enjoy your weekend.